When I was 10 years old, I returned from South Africa with my parents, and we lived in a grand old Victorian house in Deptford, southeast London. Behind this house was a municipal park, a small patch of greenery called Deptford Park. In the centre of this park was a tea room run by a family member. My grandfather got me a job in this tea room for the grand amount of £1 a week, stocking shelves, sweeping up, that sort of thing. Having come from South Africa, where there were at the time no luxuries, I swiftly fell in love with Fry's chocolate cream. One day, when I was stacking the shelves, a large box of Fry's chocolate cream fell to the ground. On impulse, I picked up one of the bars and put it in the waistband of my shorts. The owner of the shop had seen me do it. He told me to put it back, and as I turned, I felt an enormous blow to the right-hand side of my face. I fell forward. I hit my face on the shelving as I fell. As I lay on the ground, I felt my clothing, my shirt, and my shorts were ripped from me. I felt an enormous weight as this man lay on me. And then the most excruciating pain. I was 10 years old, and I'd been raped. I was thrown into a small toilet cubicle and told to clean myself up and bandage myself with toilet paper. I wasn't allowed home that afternoon until late in the evening when he was finished, with the threat of my father being told I was a thief ringing in my ears as a deterrent to saying anything. Every day throughout that summer, I had to return to that shop. Every day throughout that summer, I had to endure his attentions. And every single day, I had to clean myself in that small cubicle smelling of lavender. The smell of lavender I abhor. At the end of that summer, my parents thankfully found a home, and we moved away from the area. However, that Christmas, we visited my grandparents, and in the dusty upper reaches of that grand Victorian house, that same man managed to ambush me. And to this day, somewhat absurdly, I still struggle with Christmas. Soon after moving into our new home, my father started to visit me in the evenings, until he was discovered by my mother. My teenage years were an agony, where I struggled to comprehend and understand quite what had happened to me. To try and cope with a self-loathing and disgust you can't imagine. I felt indelibly stained, and as a consequence felt a tremendous need to find someone to blame. This laid the groundwork for 20 years of abject callousness on my part. No one was safe from me, I'm afraid. You could say the impact of my abuse was viral in that regard. My need to blame destroyed many lives. I lost my mother to suicide, my marriage at the time, my children, and very many, if not all, my friends. I finally reached a point which can only be described as a life and death crossroads, literally, where I decided that I would use what happened to me as a weapon and no longer hide behind it like a shield. I would try and have the courage to lead by example. no matter what the apparent cost. I would try and be happy, earn myself some self-respect, and in doing so, hopefully earn the respect of others. However, this had to be done alone. For me, there was no NSPCC. For me, no post-abuse help. And as a consequence, there was much pain and much wasted time. And it's this confluence of events that led me to the Himalayas. I'm asked many times, do I climb for myself or the NSPCC? It's clearly for both. I am asked, can you cure child abuse? No, I don't believe you can. I believe, sadly, it's part of the human condition, and there's no adequate deterrent. But what we can change is we can alter the stigma of sexual abuse. Many abused feel complicit or to blame. I believe the word sexual, when used in this connotation, doesn't help in this. And as a consequence, many choose silence over shame. Many. Society can and must change. It's a difficult subject to listen to. It's a difficult subject to talk about. I understand. But only when we feel outrage as opposed to offense, when it's discussed openly with no embarrassed reactions, when ironically it's regarded like common assault, will the violated feel less violated. So, I've climbed Everest now 4 times for the thousands who suffer in silence, with no voice, and with very carefully hidden pasts. I wear my story on my sleeve in the hope I can give confidence to others to live again, and before it's too late, lead at least some of them back to the world of which they were once part. I tell my story to warn of monsters and offer an escape to those for whom this warning has come too late. And I tell my story in the hope that I may inspire those already damaged and those who support the NSPCC desperately needs. I ask you to support the NSPCC as you are tonight from the bottom of my heart. They do wonderful work. They relieve immense pain and offer damaged children the choice between left and right. Many of you here this evening have the power to make an enormous difference. I'm very envious of you in that regard. And finally, it really is worth remembering that every sexual abused child knows that monsters truly do exist. Thank you.